All right, welcome to The Explainer. Look, we're going to jump right into a topic that is everywhere right now, artificial intelligence. Specifically, as this stuff gets more and more powerful, how in the world do we make sure it's being built and used, responsibly? This is the challenge of our time, so let's dig in.
I love this quote because it just nails it, right? AI is blowing up. It's everywhere. And honestly, a lot of the chatter is about the scary stuff, the downsides. But what if we flip that? What if this isn't a shadow to be afraid of, but a spotlight? A massive opportunity to create and innovate.
Okay, so this really boils it down to a choice, a fork in the road for any company using AI. You can go down the path of AI risk, where you're just reacting to things, and you end up with errors, people not trusting you, and yeah, that shadow. Or you can choose the responsible AI path. And here's the kicker. This isn't about hitting the brakes. It's the exact opposite. It's about building so much trust with your customers and your own teams that you can actually speed up, you can innovate with confidence, and step right into that spotlight we were just talking about.
All right, so we keep saying this phrase, responsible AI. But what are we actually talking about? Let's break it down and get a super clear definition. Okay, so here's the official definition. But let's look at what's really going on here. It's not just about some abstract ethical code on a shelf. No. It's about connecting the dots. It's taking what your company stands for, your mission, your values, and weaving that directly into the AI you build. And the goal? To actually achieve something transformative, something positive out in the world. It's making sure your tech isn't just a tool, but a reflection of your company's DNA.
Right, that all sounds amazing, doesn't it? But let's be real. It's one thing to say it and a whole other thing to do it. For a lot of people, a lot of companies, that jump from we should do this to here's how we're doing it feels, well, it feels massive, daunting. So how do you actually make it happen?
Well, the answer is you don't just wing it. You need a plan. And that's what we've got next, a proven, battle-tested framework built on 5 pillars. This is what takes that huge, scary challenge and breaks it down into something you can actually tackle. So here it is. This is our roadmap. Strategy, governance, processes, tech, and culture. And you can see right away what makes this work is that it's not just about code. It treats responsible AI for what it is, a full-on organizational mission. We're going from the big picture why all the way down to the people on the ground. Let's dive into each one.
First up, strategy. This is your foundation, your why. And this is crucial. It's not about just downloading some generic ethics PDF. It's about looking at your own company's mission and building your principles from there. And I love this idea of guardrails. You might think rules and boundaries slow you down, but it's the opposite. When you have clear, strong guardrails on the side of the road, you can hit the gas. You can drive faster because you know you're safe. That's what a good RII strategy does for your teams.
Okay, pillar 2, governance. So if strategy was the why, governance is the who. It's about accountability. Who owns this? Who's in charge? When something goes sideways, and it will, who do you call? This is about setting up the human systems, like an AI council with actual leaders on it. That sends a powerful message. This is not just some tech department thing. This is a business priority, period.
All right, pillar 3 is processes. This is the how. How does this stuff actually get done day to day? And the key here is to not treat it like a last-minute inspection. It's not a checkbox you tick right before you ship a product. It's something you have to bake in from the very beginning. You're asking those tough questions at every single step. Is our data biased? What could go wrong here? You're building responsibility into the product, not just slapping a sticker on it at the end.
And that brings us to pillar 4, technology and tools. Because look, you can have the best intentions in the world, but if you don't give your teams the right tools, what's going to happen? This is all about making the responsible choice the easy choice. Think about it. Giving your developers code libraries that automatically look for bias. Giving them playbooks with clear step-by-step instructions. You're empowering them to do the right thing from the moment they start writing code. And now for the last one. And honestly, this might be the most important pillar of all. Culture. Because you can have the most brilliant strategy, perfect processes, the best tools, and it'll all fall apart if the culture isn't there. This is the glue that holds it all together. It's about making sure everyone in the company gets it, feels like they have a stake in it, and, this is key, feels safe enough to raise their hand and say, hey, are we sure about this?
Okay, so that's the 5-pillar framework. It sounds good on paper, right? But does this stuff actually work out in the wild? Let's shift from the theory and look at how this plays out in the real world. Check this out. Take a big insurance company. They were about to launch their first ever generative AI app, and they were, a little nervous. So they focused on pillars 2 and 3, governance and process. They mapped out all the risks before they went live. And that work, that foresight, that's what made users trust it and actually use it. Or look at this major financial firm. They were jumping into Gen AI fast. So they used pillars 2 and 4, governance and tools. They gave their teams clear rules of the road and tools to check for bias automatically. The result? They could move fast without breaking things or falling out of compliance. You see the pattern? In both cases, being responsible wasn't a roadblock. It was the launch pad.
Okay, but this whole thing isn't just about giant companies. To bring this all home, let's zoom way out and talk about why this is a big deal for everyone.
This right here really gets to the core of it. Think about it. Gen AI means that powerful, world-changing tools aren't just for a handful of PhDs in a lab anymore. They're in the hands of everyone, millions of people. And that's exactly why that 5th pillar we talked about, culture, suddenly becomes the most critical piece of the entire puzzle. A culture of responsibility, it's not just a nice idea for a company anymore. It's becoming a flat-out necessity for society.
Which leads us to one last big question to leave you with. As AI truly becomes a tool for everyone, from an intern at a startup to a CEO, from a kid doing homework to a professional artist, whose job is it to build those guardrails? Who's responsible? And the answer, and this is the big takeaway, is that it's starting to be all of us.